So we're going to try something new. Got this idea from Kennie J.D. Just started following her because she's pretty cool. Pretty much what she'll do is she'll talk about a bad movie while she does her makeup. And I'm like, you know what, I don't want to copy her directly. So we're going to talk about a TV show while I do my hair. And if that's a problem, that's totally fine. I get it, but whatever. Now, I haven't washed my hair in so today's Wednesday and I washed it on Friday. So it's getting pretty yuck and ratty and oily and just disgusting, but I need it to last another couple of days. So we're going to braid it while we talk about the TV show INSATIABLE. Let's just talk about how crazy that show is, and then like maybe we can talk about like actually go through its IMDb synopsis and like see what I forget, so we can all be caught up for when season 2 starts, because that show is a trip and a half. We've got some hair ties, we've got bobby pins, we're ready to go. Let's talk about INSATIABLE. So if I'm to describe this show to someone who has never seen it before, I'd pretty much say it's this girl, her name's Patty, and she's overweight, and apparently that means that she's ugly. Whatever. Sorry, I'm tearing up. Brushing my hair hurts. It's not because Patty's fat. It has nothing to do with that. And then she punches a homeless guy, who then punches her back, and he breaks her jaw. And then she has her jaw wide shut, and she ends up losing all of this weight. And then all of a sudden, she's like super hot. And I'm like, babe, you were hot all along. It's your personality that sucks, but whatever. And then she goes to court to file charges against the homeless guy who punched her. Did I mention he was homeless? Because he is. And her lawyer, who's defending her in this case, just so happens to be a pageant coach. And then also, not only does he coach pageants, he's also the father of her high school crush. She's in a high school, so like the crush that she has currently, that she's had since like kindergarten or whatever. She ends up falling in love with him, whatever her version of falling in love is. Maybe he'll go for me. But her friend is like, no, he's a grown-ass man and he's gross. And she's like, no, he's really nice to me, so it's fine. And I'm like, no, it's pedophilia, whatever. So she is in love with her lawyer's son, because he's really hot. He's kind of a jerk, but like he's trying to be better. He doesn't really have much of a relationship with his dad, which is sad. His name's Brick though, and he behaves like a brick. He's so bland. Honestly, he's so bland. I don't know what the kind of name is Brick anyway, like, whatever. They're everywhere on TV at the moment. Well, not at the moment, like a couple of years ago. I'm like, why is everyone called Brick? Is that just a stupid American name, or am I just like, do I only know like people named Peter? Patty has a negligent mother, who's a little bit of a hoe. So Patty doesn't really know what relationships are supposed to look like, which kind of explains her behavior, but then it kind of doesn't. So what happens is the homeless man who punched her doesn't recognize her once she's lost the weight. This is just to separate the hair from the braid. The homeless man doesn't recognize her once she's lost the weight. So her plan to get him back is to set him on fire. They get a motel room, and she's almost going to set him on fire. And then she decides not to because she sees a Drew Barrymore movie and she's like, you know what, I probably shouldn't. She loves Drew Barrymore, which is like same, but also like Drew Barrymore movie wouldn't stop me from setting someone on fire. There would be Jesus on my conscience, but whatever. But then he ends up getting set on fire anyway by himself. Shock, I know, it's crazy. And so she's like, oh, like, am I a bad person? Am I a bad person? And all her friends are just like, no, you didn't do it. And she's like, oh, but like, I'm a bad person because I was thinking about it. And they're just like, no, you're not. But I should mention that she only has one friend who is in love with her. And Patty has no freaking clue. She's completely oblivious because she's so selfish. And she's just like, oh, like, no one would like me because I'm fat. But now that she's thin, she's just like, I don't even know what is this? What's life? How to live? She has a pregnancy scare. So she is in love with this dude Brick. But she also has a thing with this guy called Christian, whose parents are the ministers at the church. But he's like a rebel and like a bad boy, you know, like, I don't know how many like pastors' kids are that rebellious, because like for pastors' kids, like I was a pastor's kid, and for pastors' kids, as rebellious as it gets is just like, I'm gonna watch Family Guy. Like, I'm gonna have a sip of cider. Like, it doesn't get that rebellious when you're a pastor's kid because everything is off limits. So I don't know how this kid got so wild, but anyway, not the point. Yeah, she has a thing with him, and it's this big scandal because he's a bad boy and she's trying to be a good girl. And the pageant that she's entering is called Miss Magic Jesus. And because everyone has a southern accent, it's like, Miss Magic Jesus. It's the weirdest name for one. And she has to be baptized in order to enter the pageant. So she gets baptized, but someone, I can't remember who, one of her like pageant competitors or something tries to sabotage her and drugs her while she, like, right before she gets baptized. And so she has this mad hallucination in her full immersion baptism tank. And this full thing about, like, you should kill people and all that. And she's like, Jesus told me that I should do this. And so she goes on this mad, weird rampage. It's, every episode is just a wild ride. Like, you thought Riverdale was crazy. I mean, Insatiable's like a whole nother level, you know? It's like a telenovela, but it's not a telenovela. It's crazy. Oh, okay, yes, the pregnancy scare. Okay, so I can't remember who she bangs. I can't remember if it's Christian or if it's Brick or if it's someone else. Those are kind of the two main bros in my head. Anyway, she has a pregnancy scare, and somehow she thinks that it might be like a demon child and that she's possessed by the devil, and that's what's made her do all these terrible, horrible, awful things. And her friends are like, no, that's crazy. And she's like, it's the only explanation. And I'm like, well, there is another explanation. Maybe, like, you're just a bitch. Like, maybe you're just a terrible person who needs to actually make changes in your life, you know? Losing weight isn't going to do anything. Anyway, she has an exorcism to get this demon child out of her. Maybe I'm making up the pregnancy scare and it's just like she just thinks she's possessed. I don't know. It's been a while. Oh. And then, okay, so her pageant coach, lawyer man, every time like there's some sort of scandal, like she almost sets someone on fire, or she, you know, like a video comes out of some dude going down on her or something, her pageant coach is just like, I can't work with you anymore. Like, it's too much scandal. And she's like, please. And because like in a monologue, she's just like, I'm in love with you. And he's just like, I can't do it. It's too bad. It's too scandalous. I can't. And then, her pageant coach is married to Alyssa Milano, who is a babe to this very day. Did you know that The Little Mermaid, her facial features were based on Alyssa Milano? Girl, like, that's why she's so beautiful. Like, that's why The Little Mermaid's so beautiful, because she's Alyssa Milano as a mermaid. So he's married to Alyssa Milano, and she is like this perfect Southern Belle wife, and they're neighbors with this other guy who has a daughter who also competes in pageants. And so they're both named Bob, and there are lots of, like, you know, alliteration of, like, you know, Bob and all that kind of stuff. And they hate each other. They went to school together and they hated each other then, and they hate each other now, and they're neighbors, and they're competing because, you know, one coaches pageants and the other one's daughter is in pageants, and, you know, it's a stupid thing. But anyway, like, there have been stupid feuds, but that's a stupid one. Somehow they end up hooking up. And that's fine. It's like, whatever. But it's just so random. It comes out of nowhere. And then Bob, the coach / lawyer, and they're both lawyers as well. So Bob, who is Patty's coach, is like, I don't know who I should be with. Should I be with my beautiful, lovely, doting wife? Or should I be with, you know, hot Bob, who's loved me since middle school? I'm like, okay. So maybe, but also I'm just like, that felt like it all felt like it came out of nowhere. But that in particular was just like, fucking pardon? Oh my gosh, it was so weird. So Patty still struggles with body image and binge eating and all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's an accurate representation of actual mental health issues, because I think that she's got some other stuff going on that they're not really addressing. They're just saying that, you know, like, she's sad, so she eats a whole sheet cake. And I'm like, yeah, I get that, but like, there are deeper issues going on that they're not really touching on. And I don't mind that they're not touching on them, but they're kind of pretending that they're all deep and everything's fine, and they're really addressing the issues. And I'm like, well, you're not. So, like, don't pretend to if you're not. Oh, okay, that's one. Look at that. Oh my god. Braiding, it takes a lot of patience. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Patty's best friend, the one who's in love with her only friend, really, just happens to be her best friend, so she's lucky in that case, I guess, is in love with her, and then she meets another girl who also does pageants. I mean, does this show revolve around pageants or what? And she's just like, hey, when you know, are ready to move on from this Patty bitch, like, call me. And she's really nice about, like, helping her kind of come to terms with who she is, but also, like, accepting, you know, that Patty's a bad person and, like, she's better, you know, like, the friend, I can't remember her name for the life of me. No, I really don't care. She's the best friend. No one cares about the best friend. Everyone only cares about the lead. Her character, I think, makes the most sense of all the characters on the show, because she's just like, I don't know what to do. I've been in love with this one chick for my whole life, and she's so wonderful. But then she's like, maybe she's not wonderful when she meets someone else who actually treats her nicely. Yeah, this other girl does pageants too, and she's this big, fabulous black lady, who's just, like, killing the scene, and she's just like, beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, and we're just like, yeah, it does. So, like, why didn't Patty know that before? Another competing team of pageant people. Look at how wild my hair is. Oh my gosh. Like, there's another team, and it's a blonde lady and her adopted daughter, who I think she's from Korea. I don't totally remember what country she was from. Anyway, and they compete in the pageants too, and they, the year before, they had accused Bob, Patty's coach, because he used to be the little Korean girl's coach. I don't remember what actual nationality she is. I'm just going to say she's Korean. I'm really sorry. I can't remember her name would be better, but I can't remember her name. It's something weird, like Missy, or like Tootie, or like something that's not, it's not a name, you know, like, look, is it a better name than Brick? No, I think it's on the same par with Brick. Like, it's kind of a name, but it's kind of not. Anyway, this girl accused Bob, Patty's coach, of molesting her. So that's why he can't have any more scandals, and because that was a big scandal, and he couldn't find any other pageant girls to work with because of that scandal. And his wife stood by him for that. I mean, Alyssa Milano, what a gem. Yeah, so there's just a lot of drama with them, and them being like, you're not even my real mama, and, you know, them losing their house, and, you know, the adoptive mother hooking up with Bob, the neighbor, who was in love with the other Bob. It's really confusing once you really get into it. Like, when I first started off, and it was just like, there's this girl, and she used to be fat, but now she's not. Now she's doing pageants, and she's a really bad person. She tried to set a homeless guy on fire, and she also thought she was possessed by a demon. You're just like, wow, that's crazy. But then looking into more characters, I'm just like, what the hell even is this show? Yeah, this adoptive mother ends up living in her car. She ends up going to jail, I think she ends up going to jail at some point for something awful, because she's a terrible person, and I'm like, who's a worse person, Patty or this adoptive mother? Don't know, don't care. What even am I saying anymore? It's been 20 minutes, I'm done. Look, I'm not really done. This one's a bit shottier. So it's called Insatiable because she's like, I used to be insatiable about food, and now I'm insatiable about revenge. And so she wants to get back all the people who ever called her fat and were mean to her and stuff like that. And so that's kind of her motivation for doing pageants, to show everyone, like, hey, like, I'm really hot now. Look at me. But then also she talks about being insatiable with revenge, about, you know, setting people on fire and, you know, stealing someone's boyfriend and just weird things. And I'm like, I don't know if that's an actual thing that happened. It might just be me because I'm you know, a little Christian hermit who doesn't do anything but watch TV and, you know, braid my hair. But like, I don't know if that's an actual thing that happens. So like, tell me, because I don't know. IMDb. We're gonna find like the synopsis for each episode and see if we missed anything, and just kind of like make sure everything's cool and it makes sense, because it doesn't make sense. One synopsis. Okay, the pilot. Bullied teenager Patty goes to court to defend her fight with a homeless man. Nonnie, that's her friend's name. Yep. There's like all this shit about like Stella Rose. So she and Bob, the pageant coach, had like a thing. And he meets Stella Rose's daughter, and he's just like, maybe she's my daughter because we were together that long ago. Oh my gosh. I don't remember if that's actually like, I don't think she's actually his, but that's one of the things that he's just like, oh my God, I have a daughter from when I cheated on my wife that time, like 20 years ago. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Pastor Mike convinces Patty she has a demon inside of her, and Christian offers up a suggestion. That's the one where they have an exorcism. Like the pastor, really the minister was just like, I think you're possessed, so we're gonna do an exorcism. Yeah. Dixie. Nonnie and Brick search for Patty when she goes missing. Bob is faced with a seemingly impossible decision. Okay. So I think I remember now how the season ends. Patty's kidnapped by this Stella Rose person because Stella Rose wants revenge on Bob, the pageant coach. Not Bob the neighbor, Bob the pageant coach. I think like Patty was thinking about killing them, but then instead she got kidnapped by them. I think. The synopsis isn't really giving me anything else. I mean, this came out, like I watched this in August last year. So I think my memory is not doing bad. I think it's doing okay. Oh, what a wild ride. Okay, so season 2 starts up on the 11th of October. So we'll just have to wait and see for that, because that's, oh boy, that's gonna be a trip and a half. Yeah. Let me know if there's anything, if you happen to watch this and you're just like, I kind of like this, subscribe. And also tell me if there's something else that you'd like me to recap for you, because I watch a lot of TV and a lot of movies, and I spend a lot of time on the internet, so it's fine. Yeah, bye.